Yeah, that overall it was a good performance from our team. We can go toe to toe with the champs of the NWSL. That second half, the last 25 minutes, we possessed the ball a lot better than we did it throughout the game, but we were dangerous in certain opportunities. And overall, good performance. Free kick that caught us a little bit by surprise there, and that's something that we can fix. But overall, good performance.
All right. Paul?
Hola, Verónica, buenas noches. Regardless of the result, what do you like the most about your team tonight? And also, what do you think about the determination of Rachel trying to score goals tonight?
So what I liked is in the first half, the plan was to hit them on the counters, and we almost had an opportunity with Taylor early in that first half, which was trying to get in behind with crosses come in. We put that in, and the game plan for us was in the second half, then let's put in players that could actually hold the ball a little bit longer. Uh, and so it was a good response. We didn't get that goal in the first half, and then in the second half, both groups of players that went in executed as except for getting that goal, right? But otherwise, that's something I'm really pleased. They all put in a good performance, and then I'm you're talking about Rachel Kondinanji, of course, right? Uh, yeah, her determination is what sets her apart. She's just she wills herself to get to the balls, and that's going to continue making her a threat in this league. And then she's going to also work on just that finishing touch, but that will come.
Última pregunta en español. Se enfrentaron al mejor equipo de la liga, Albertin. ¿Cómo esto ayuda a mirar el nivel de equipo ahorita en estos momentos y a mirar oportunidades? Gracias.
Los ayuda mucho porque como jugamos el segundo tiempo y como mantenemos las pelotas y tuvimos muchas oportunidades para meter el gol, pero los últimos 25 minutos jugamos un fútbol muy bien y eso es lo que queremos hacer en esta liga y para el próximo juego que es contra Nueva York.
Gracias.
Wait, Christian and Marissa?
That was good. Do you think they let them go too quickly on that free kick?
Oh gosh, it, maybe I'd have to go look at it because there's times that he would call it back and stop play, and then but regardless, on our end, we just have to make sure we step in front of the ball and just stay locked in. That's it.
Do you think you had the better chances overall today?
Oh gosh, that's always a tough one because I might be a little biased as I'm watching the game, but I will say that the last 25 minutes, we definitely had the best chances. And I would say we probably had the most dangerous chances of where the opportunities occurred because their shots came in from a little bit further outside the box. Emmy had to only make a couple of saves throughout the game, and we hit the post, but we hit Kundinanji missed one right in front of the goal where it kind of bounced back to her. We were in good areas on the field. Taylor early on. I mean, tough questions. I'm just trying to go through my head, but I definitely felt that those last 20, 25 minutes, I thought the goal was going to come because that's how dangerous we were.
And I know you said, you're kind of out of position, but when that, ball hits two players and goes in, it seemed like they were in position. Is that?
No, I'm talking a little bit more so with the free kick. Right on the free kick, we've got a step, and then making sure that we're aware of where everyone is. But you're right. I mean, I'm just looking at it without watching the video of it. It did go off a couple players, didn't it? Yeah. That's a tough one. And what's remarkable, I thought, arguably against one of the best players in the league, but Banda, she's so dangerous. She didn't really necessarily get those opportunities. I mean, when she did inside the box, we had numbers around there, and we made it difficult for her. So not once did she, get that breakaway and 1v1s with the keepers, but I thought defensively, Abby and Kelli were outstanding in the center, just making it very difficult for her. And then our rest of the team supported them.
Marissa?
You mentioned the dangerous chances you guys had tonight, especially like the game. I think you guys had 17, 18 shots overall, the most you've had all year. What's kind of the next step to convert those into goals? I know that's hadn't been something you guys have dealt with all year, but are you seeing progress in that when you do have these many dangerous chances?
Yes, I'm definitely we're seeing the progress because the quality of the chances. They're dangerous. They're not just hit from random angles. We're creating very dangerous opportunities, and with that, it's just execution. Continue to work on it, but I love the areas that we're getting into.
Coach, so you start Kuminaji and Oshwala tonight, facing Sands and the Downer, like a very dangerous center back pairing. Offensively, what were you looking for starting those two in attacking spots that the offense wasn't able to put together tonight?
So the plan was to play with three up front for us when we had the ball, and that's Carly, Kundananji, and Asisat Oshwala. Three physical players, dangerous players that have pace, and we were going to be a little bit more direct and try to get in behind them early, which we did a few times. But with that being said, we still needed to be able to hold onto the ball a little bit longer, or at least just hold it so we can make one pass and then make the pass into that space. So we weren't necessarily holding the ball as well as we would like in that first half. We were still getting into certain areas, but not consistently enough, and that's just because we weren't keeping the ball. In the second half, obviously, it changed. Different personnel, which gives us different looks, and that's what's exciting about this team. And it's something that we really are in developing, where we can play in different ways and we can attack in different ways. Unfortunately, in that first half, it didn't necessarily play out the way that we thought we could, but it could be another game because of the pace and strength that those three forwards have. Obviously, you saw in the second half, Rachel and Penelope give you different looks, but it's more about understanding space and connecting. And then now we're outside backs, we're overlapping a lot more, right? So now this is good because we go back. It's like, okay, next time we play them, well, we know that second half created a lot more problems for them. So how can we continue? And then the first one maybe didn't work as well, but you continue learning. And the fact that I go back to this, they're champions, they're an excellent team. And we made it. I thought we made them sweat in that second half.
And defensively, being able to hold that high-powered offense just on a single goal.
Yeah, that's where so much credit has to go to our back line. But our midfield, our front three, everyone was defending as a team. And that's a very good performance from us defensively.
Bebar?
So Coach, it seemed like you were trying to at least get a point in this game. That's kind of like you're going in with what your idea is. How do you feel about being on that one little kind of mistake maybe cross that point? But also too, how do you feel like with this game compared to a couple weeks ago when you played NC, playing one of the premier prop teams in the league and just really taking it?
Yes. So the difference was against Kansas City. It was the beginning of the way we're playing right now. It was the beginning of us being a little bit more of attack minded, going back to the way we enjoy playing. We went through a spell there that we were playing a little bit too defensive, and we were preparing for the opposition, as we always should, but a little too much. And then we got to a point where I'm like, let's enjoy our football. Let's play the way we want to move this ball around. And they have taken that on, and it's been outstanding these last 3 weeks. And it's been exactly what we're looking for. Kansas City, I took that risk. I'm like, look, it's ironic we're playing Kansas City and we're going to open ourselves up this way, but I'm okay. Let's give up 3 points here to work forward to Angel City, Houston, Portland, right? And it's the same because we're going to play a very similar way. We'd like to against New York, right? Against Gotham. But it's just an evolution, as I always talk about, and just tinkering around a little bit with the players because you can see it's different personnel, but we're starting to see who plays really well with each other, and it's coming around quite nicely. We're excited about this. The group feels it.
Hi, Coach. Kind of piggybacking off the question before about starting, Rudy, Assad, and I think Carly up there. Was that for just to have that size advantage, knowing that they have that physicality that you maybe hadn't had it before in starting the 11s? Is this something you'll see them going forward, having those three start as well?
It depends on the game. We took, well, not a risk, but the reason you play those three, we were going to be a little bit more direct. That's our strength, trying to get in behind. And will that happen again? It depends on the opposition and the game. I typically enjoy playing a little bit more like we did in that second half, where there's more interchange, more football. And now it's, can we get the Kundananjis and the Carlys to also play that way, right? Because they're capable of so much. But that's why they're young and they're going to continue getting better.
And real quick, Emmy's performance, how would you say she did?
Superb. That's why I felt very comfortable putting her in. Obviously, we've talked for the last few weeks on how great of a job Silkowitz has been doing, but we see Emmy every single day at practice, and she has been outstanding. I think she's one of the best shot stoppers I've seen, right? But she needs a lot of growth in other ways. And this, what a great way. You're going against the league champs. Here's your first game in the NWSL. She had a very good performance, right? Good saves. She was confident. She played the ball out of the back. She did everything we asked her to do. So it excites us.
With Rachel Kundanji, it's not often she gets to play as someone else from Zambia. Did you think that gave her a little extra motivation when the kind of time was running down trying to get that goal?
I don't think so. She's always motivated. It doesn't really matter what game we're in. She's motivated. I think that extra energy came from the entire team because we were just feeling it. Everyone was going forward, putting a little bit extra effort. So it could be. I mean, that's a question for her because she always plays with that passion and desire. She just wills herself to getting to the ball. So maybe going against Banda, she wants to hey, let's do this, but she'll get another opportunity.
All right, Brian, then we're gonna close out with Christian again.
So, so two of the younger players on the field today, Hubley and Taylor, seem to be the defensive stalwart, and then of course the chaos that Taylor causes in the box right now. How are you seeing that, and how are you seeing that going forward? And then just kind of to piggyback on that, with the announcement this morning that the championship is here, now how do you feel like you need to be a real contender to be in that game?
So first of all, did you say Taylor and Hubley, like our center back?
Yes.
Our center back?
Because how they're both kind of exceeding expectations so far with the fact that they're both rookies, even though I think it's time to take that.
No, Kelli Hubley has been in the league. I just wasn't sure. That's why I was asking. No, I was wondering if you were maybe referring to someone else. But Kelli Hubley has come in. I mean, she has a lot of experience in playing at Portland, and she's done an excellent job partnering up with Abby. And that's a lot to ask of a player to come in after a few games. She hasn't played. And this is her first 90-minute game this season, right? Or even close to it. And the fact that she's playing against Orlando and puts this performance, outstanding. Her mentality, the way she defended. So very happy for her. And Hannah, you said Taylor. Taylor just gives us this incredible work rate. And what we're going to continue doing is we're going to work with her to understand when to move, when to run, because of anything. I mean, she just wants to do so much, which is a good thing. You don't want to take that away from a player, but it's getting her to understand when to do it. And when she gets better at that, that's when the goals are going to start coming for her. And then as far as how exciting, we're going to host, and I'm not surprised. Look at our fans and our atmosphere and everything we create here. So our goal has always been, let's finish in the top four. Top four. All we need is the four. And when you finish at fourth, you get a home game at least, right? And then now maybe the finals here as well. So we're not thinking too far ahead. I don't know if the players are thinking about that. We're just one game at a time. But it's incredibly exciting that if we play this way and the way we play in the second half, the way we played against Portland, our previous 4 games have been very good. We're going to be a tough team to beat. And if we happen to be in that final at home in front of our fans, anything can happen.
All right, Chris. I just wanted to go back, to that theme of bounces because Tedesco hits it off the crossbar. Then 1 minute later they score it. And then Conti, pretty good save by the keeper. When you talk to the team about those things, is it because, like you said, sometimes you just have to make your own luck and finish the goal. Mm-hmm. But when you get that close, as just a great player hits the crossbar, what is your approach to, discussing that with them and moving forward from it?
The most important thing you concentrate is you're getting yourselves in really good spots, okay? And it's the mentality. The goals, I really do believe it. Sometimes they'll come. It's just off by a bit. The keeper makes a great save, off by an inch here or there. But it's the belief of knowing that you're going to score. And we're going to continue getting better at that. Because just like what we did in that second half, we believed that we could go at them. And we could make it difficult for them, right? And then it's just, the message is, we're doing a lot of good things. Now it's just practice and everything we do, just cleaning that up, and it'll come as long as we continue to create opportunities and play together.
All right, thanks everybody. Hannah Bebar and Kelli Hubley. Kelli, of course, played her 100th game tonight. Congratulations, Kelli. We'll go straight to questions and follow you, Edwin.
Ahora Marurita entender ayer as a player how important was to face Orlando tonight. What positives are you taking away? And I do have a follow-up. Thank you so much.
I'll go first. Yeah, I think we really showed tonight like togetherness as a team. We wanted to come out being together and just prove that like we can contend in this league with the top teams. And I'm really proud of our performance. I don't think they really broke us down that much at all. We had a ton of chances, and I'm so proud of us because even though we lost, like it felt like a win to us in a sense and just like a step forward.
One more question. It will be a busy schedule, a paper form. What do you think about the Gold Cup coming up here, United States based in Trinidad? And how do you feel as a player to be part of this culture of soccer? Thank you so much. By the way, forward.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's really cool, like being able to watch national teams in your own market because I know the U.S. was here not that long ago. So it's really cool to have the Men in Gold Cup. That's a really cool tournament to host. I think it's good for the community to have these games and like just bring everyone closer in the soccer community. I don't know, you have anything to say?
Yeah, no, I think it's such a good area. I think there's so much going soccer-wise, and so to bring more games here definitely helps the sport, helps us, and just helps the community.
Thank you.
Wait.
William Hensby Sports Radio Service. For Anna first, just how are you feel like you're getting along season so far, adapting as a rookie? And then for Kelli, you've played your 100th game. Just how meaningful is it for you to hit that milestone and just be a veteran presence on this team?
Yeah, I think this team is excellent at making you feel at home and making you feel welcome. And I think coming in at kind of a weird time for me, especially as a rookie, I've felt nothing but, support from the team. And I think that just continues to grow each game. The amount of people just coming up to me and giving me, feedback and advice. It's just excellent on this team, I'd say.
Yeah, 100, it's a lot. I'm old. My body hurts. No, I'm just really proud of myself. It's been a hard road. I just want to prove to everyone that there's not like a specific road to becoming a pro soccer player. Like mine was very different. Mine's very unique. And I just want to be there for younger players. I always say to people that I feel like I came to this team to like kind of just be there for the younger players. I still feel like I'm 25, so I still act that way. But I want to bring as much as I can to this team, even if I'm playing, if I'm not playing. Like, I just want to be someone that everyone can come to for questions and just hype everyone up. I'm a hype girl. So I'm just so proud of myself, but I'm also just here for the team.
Brian and Christian. Okay, so, and we talked with Coach about this, that in Kansas City was kind of him trying to tinker with things and play differently and all of that. And we kind of looked at these 3 games, Portland tonight and then next week with Gotham, that you got to start looking like you deserve to be on the field of top 4 in the league. How do you feel you've done in these first 2 of the 3? And what are you looking forward to next week with, continuing that momentum and looking like we may not win, but we look like we are definitely playing with the top 4?
Yeah, no, I would say starting with Portland, we definitely felt like defensively we made ourselves known right away. And I think that's always a goal of ours going into games. And then offensively also showed that with Alyssa's goal in Portland that, we're also contenders in this league and scoring dangerous goals. So just building into our confidence throughout the game and then coming to this game knowing, again, the same mentality that we're going to lock down in defense, which we did for 99% of the game. But also knowing that we can keep the ball and we can have, this style play. I think that Albertin stresses keeping the ball and just progressing play. So I would say obviously unfortunate that we didn't take home the win tonight, but growing in confidence and knowing that we can and deserve to, inch our way closer to the top and do that through our identity and our style of play.
Yeah. Speaking of that 99%, Kelli, you play 100 games now in this league. Have you ever had a double deflection goal? What was that like?
I don't know, honestly. Goals are going to happen. I think it's hard being a center back. It's hard being a defender in this league. Each year it's getting harder and harder to defend some of these players. Like they're getting so good, so fast, so strong. But, you kind of you learn from the goal and then move on because the more you just like sit there and sulk about it, like this league, it's game after game after game. Like you can't just be thinking about like what just happened. I think it's just I was gonna swear, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna swear. It was really shitty, I'm not gonna lie, because I feel like they didn't really break us down. So that goal just like hurt really badly. And like, I know we lost, but overall, I'm so proud of this team. Like, we have grown so much. Like, it's hard to break us down. You saw that in the Portland game. You saw that again today. Especially a team like Orlando who scores a lot of goals. Like, they didn't really like have that many chances. So I'm just so proud of our team.
Do you think they let them go too quickly on that free kick that led to?
I mean, that's a tactic that would hope we would do too. Like, they really had no way. Like, they're allowed to do that. So unless it's a yellow card, they have to keep it stopped. So, I mean, they just took advantage of a half a second, and we just, yeah, I think we're bummed that we weren't paying attention for half a second. But all we can do is learn from it and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Albertin too, but you and Abby were still in position. Do you just kind of chalk it up to that bounce and happens?
Yeah. A lot of goals like that happen, and it's hard, but yeah, we just learn. We'll watch film and we'll get better.
Yeah, you mentioned how well you played. Do you feel like as a team you guys had the better chances?
Yeah, definitely. Especially last 20 minutes, like, we were just pounding it down to them, and I don't know what the shots were or the goal per like XG, I don't know, but it felt like we deserved that win. So I think that's what hurts.
I know you guys had a lot of dangerous chances in that second half, the last 25 minutes or so. What do you think's kind of the next step to executing and finishing those?
Yeah, I would say, going into this next game and then beyond in the season, it's maybe just having the confidence to start that last 20-minute sequence or that last push earlier, or have the confidence in the first half, I think, to set play and bring it to them. I think we had great reaction after we went down, which we always want, but maybe just creating those chances, creating more chances in the first half, just being more dangerous. And then I think it's just, over time, having the confidence and knowing that we're going to put one in the back of the net.
I'm Marguerite Pollard's favorite sports shop. Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you.
The way you guys were able to get those chances, in the first half, Albertin went with the size up front with Carly and Austin Sod and Rudy. And then, you put in the second half, the other Rachel, and then Penelope and Carolyn. And then it seemed like, you guys were just found another way to keep them on their heels. Did it feel like that? Because it seemed like they didn't have an answer for you guys when it came to your chances. You just they had the fortunate balance, and you guys didn't have the fortunate balances.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a great thing about this team is we have so many different attacking threats. So, at the end of the day, it is Albertin's, tactical decision and how he wants to go about it. But I think just switching it up on a team, making a team kind of being unpredictable, in how we want to attack was kind of what got them in those last 20 minutes. And I honestly, we needed some fresh legs in there, and they did great. So I think, we'll continue to build on that and hopefully, have a new chance next game.
Hannah, so obviously tough matchup tonight. Marta, McCutcheon, and Julia in the midfield, Dan and Sam's in the middle. You're still in your first season. I think coming into the match, you had like 114 touches or so in the season. Felt like you had that many tonight.
Yeah.
And you talked about progressing the ball.
Yeah.
What was working for you kind of as a connector offensively? And then what was Orlando able to do to make it tough for you offensively or for midfield offensively?
I think in the first half, something that we had to solve a bit was Marta kind of going wide. And we talked about that, especially with when I was on Kelly, or me and Kelly were on the same side, is when Marta releases and kind of just floats in that space, who picks her up and how do we shift? So that was a bit difficult, but I feel like we responded very well to that and kind of eliminated that threat. But in terms of me trying to progress the ball, I'm just trying to be an option for the center backs and for the outside backs, and just like provide good angles. And I think in the second half, especially when they backed off of us, I was able to find some success getting it and turning and facing forward. But just being support and being an option. We talked a lot about, movement underneath just to be that outlet. So especially I think when they dropped off of us and we had those dangerous chances, I was able to get on the ball more and have success.
Awesome. And then Kelly, last few home matches, they only one goal allowed. You're obviously called into action last week and then a lot more minutes this week. What do you feel like defensively as a unit is working for the club that maybe was working less so early in the season?
Yeah, I think we've just really like honed in on like our box defending and like actually grabbing somebody so that they can't get, like, even if they get a shot on goal, like if it's not a free shot. I think our communication has increased so much. Like we're constantly talking between like me and Abby the whole game. Like, where's Banda? Like one of us was going to be on her and one of us was going to drop. So I think just working together, especially during the week of that communication skills, like is really important because I think sometimes, especially when you go down in games, you get quiet or say you're not having your best game, you tend to just like go in like internal. And we've just really just been like, let's talk extra. Like it's better to know than to not know. So yeah, we've just been really working on box defending, working on like being more physical. I think that's a big one, is like letting them feel our bodies, especially if they're trying to make a run through. So I think, yeah, it feels good that we're on like a better path of like not letting as many goals, but we still have like a lot to work on as well.
And then defensively, was there anything specifically to work on? Where like, I need to, when I check the tape, that's like, am I the first person to look?
Yeah, I think we were just really working on someone being close to her at all times, and one dropping. And I think we did a pretty good job. I think their goal is something we're definitely going to look back on because, yeah, we can definitely learn from that. I think we could probably have kept her maybe outside a little bit more on her weak foot, not let her on her strong foot. But obviously you can say that in the looking back in the moment, it's so hard, but yeah.
Christian?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, you've had kind of a non-traditional first year with going back to school and everything. How integrated do you feel into the team now? What is that transition going on?
Yeah. No, I've definitely had an interesting start. I was able to come a little bit in March, and kind of meet everyone and get acclimated, but kind of like I said earlier, like each week I feel more and more a part of the team and everyone is just so supportive. And like kind of what Kelli was saying is like we have great leaders and great, we have veterans who have been in this league for such a long time that have really just like accepted everyone and supported everyone. So genuinely I've felt, each week more a part of the team and felt really accepted.
Yeah. How much have you gotten to know the other rookies so far?
Pretty well. I knew Taylor before a little bit, but it's kind of nice that it's like a small class. So I feel like our team is close in general. It's not necessarily like the rookies feel like, you don't feel like a freshman in college where you feel so separate. But yeah, I think with more time, I get closer to certain people. So that's always great.
Yeah, for sure. I think, Kelly, you're a veteran in this league. You've been on some really good teams. It seems like you guys are progressing. You're about to go on this big break. How do you take stock of what your team is right now?
I wish we weren't going into a break because I feel like we're at a really good spot. I think that break will also just help us grow, and try new things. I'm excited to have the break also so that we can work on like what we've been doing the past couple of weeks even more. Like it gives us more time to like work on the style of play that we want to bring. Because it was like, I think it was the last international break is when we kind of started this and kind of, I don't know, training has just felt different ever since that first international break a couple weeks ago. And so I'm just like excited for us to continue to get better. And like Hannah said, we are a really close team and you don't really find that a lot sometimes. So I think it's just pushing each other and helping each other in every way we can.
All right, we're gonna close out with Brian.
So, so you've been around a little bit. Obviously, your 100th game there. What so far do you think, as you mentioned earlier, do you think of that tactical chaos that Taylor Huff creates right now? With the ball, without the ball, she's always looking like she's about just on the cusp of creating something, and the other team just looks at her like they can't stop it.
Yeah, she's a dangerous player. Even in training, I'm just like, how she sits in these pockets where it's hard. Like, does a center back go? It's a little too far. She just really like has really good awareness of where to be. And she just happens to like be in spots where she's getting the ball or the ball is bouncing to her. And it's awesome to have her on our team. I don't really like going against her in training.
Totally.
But yeah, she's like a dangerous player and she just knows like her like soccer IQ is so high. So it's fun playing with her and, she'll see certain things that maybe I won't see as a center back. And so it's cool talking to her. And I'm like, just tell me what you want because obviously like you're going to see things differently than me. So it's cool playing with her. She's a dangerous player. She gets in really great spots. And as a defender, it's really hard to mark a floating 10 like that.
And just a quick follow-up there. So at 4:45 this morning, I got an email saying that the cup is here this year. how did that go through the room, and how much were people saying, now we've got to buckle down and figure out how we're in that game?
Yeah. I mean, we had a group lunch and we talked about it. And I think hearing that news, we were all just like, dang, like I think it just pushed us a little bit to be like, okay, like we need to start like implementing ourselves, moving up in the table. Like it's just another fuel to our fire. But obviously super excited to have that here for the community and for our fans. And hope to be there, of course.
All right. Well, that's it for us.